Hi everyone, Psalmist David here with another fresh bread. Excited to be with you, and it's another day, and we just want to give God praise. Uh, Real exciting thought to share with you, and then we have some music as usual. So much you wanna say, so much you wanna do. Have your way today, oh Lord. Surprise us, Lord. Surprise us. That really is about it today. Surprise. God's in the surprise business. More than you could ask or even think when He's getting ready to answer. And I'm starting to see some things. I've been telling you about some things I've been praying for 25 years. And God is starting to unroll, starting to unravel. And the way He's answering is just absolutely amazing. It makes me think of a couple of things. One is a story here in 2 Kings. Chapters, end of chapter 6 into chapter 7. So the backstory is the people of God are not really living for Him. They're doing nonsense, and God has sent a famine, and then He sent an enemy to besiege the city. So the city has had no food for several months, and trafficking trade has come to a standstill as the enemy has secured all around the walls of the city, so that they aren't getting food or anything. It's just terrible inside there. And the king sends word to the prophet, and the prophet says, listen, tomorrow a bag of flour is going to be for 10 cents and barley for 5 cents. And the king's right hand man said, there is no way that do you understand famine and the enemies out there besieging the city? We have no way. How can a bag of flour possibly, And he says, tomorrow. So how does God answer? Now, in man's own eyes, the way God would answer is send the enemy away so that we're free to go to the nearest city and buy our stuff and bring it back and start over again, get animals again because most of them had died, get water source back, all of these kind of things, and then so it will take time to build back up. But God sent through the prophet the word that tomorrow. So you really don't know how God is going to use. God is not limited by how He answered your prayer last time. God is not limited by how you can perceive what is the wildest type of answer you can possibly figure that God could bring to your situation to help you through. And He's not limited by what you can think. So what happens? There are 4 lepers. Now lepers are outside of the city. Back in those days, terrible skin disease, and so they couldn't come in the city. So they sat, and this is the day they planned to reason. So they say, guys, if we go into the city, we barge our way in. First of all, they will kill us because we aren't supposed to be in the city. We're supposed to be outside of the city with our swords. But if we could get in the city somehow, there would be no food. So we would die there, either by them killing us or no food. If we stay here, we will die anyway. There's no food. There's no way. We can't go in or out. We're stuck here. Why don't we go to the enemy? Maybe they will spare us. Maybe they will have mercy on us and our awful disease, and they will let us live there, give us food, or they will kill us. So guess what? We'll die anyway. So that's the only chance that we might live. Let's go. So they make their way off down the slope. It's about evening, so it's getting dark. They can't see too well, but they get down and reach the first tent, and there's nobody there. It's like, what? No person? And then they see food. Wow. And clothing and wealth and silver and gold. So the first thing, as anybody would do, you grab some for yourself, stick it in your bag, go, and then you figure, no, let me hide this. Okay, you run, hide it, and then you come back, and it says in 2 Kings 7, Verse 8, when these lepers came to the outskirts of the camp, they went into one tent, ate and drank, and carried from it silver and gold and clothing, and went and hid them. Then they came back and entered another tent, went and carried that away also. So I mean, these guys were just living. How could this possibly be? And then they recognized, wait, no, this is far bigger. This every tent is empty and full of food and silver and gold. This is bigger than just us. Let's go back and tell the king this thing is happening, because if we stay there and try to hide this for ourselves, something terrible is going to happen. I mean, and so they went back and shouted to the wall, over the wall, King, there's enemies have gone, have fled, and we have all of this stuff. It's more than we can use. And so, true enough, by the time the townspeople ran out, and by the way, they trampled the one guy who said it could never happen, like, no way, this would never happen. They trampled him in their haste to get out, plundered the camp, brought all the goods back, and sure enough, a bag of flour was then able to be sold for 10 cents and barley for 5 cents. I mean, how could this have happened, My wife has a friend who had a husband who was not the best. He was friendly with other women. He was living the life, alcohol, not taking care of her. And so he was the subject of much of her prayer. She had her whole church praying, her prayer group. And one day he came in and he apologized to her. He came to the altar. He gave his heart to Jesus. He got saved, completely transformed, more than she could have ever imagined. And the thing is, he became so saved that he was at the prayer meetings now. And the pastor liked him and asked him to sit on the board. And he was doing tithing, giving his money. She could not believe. She said, I heard with my own ears, I don't know who I'm married to anymore. He is so transformed. The guy was more Christian than she was now. And pulling her up and all this kind of thing. And she just could not believe the change. Why am I telling you these things? Because God is not limited to what you can think or imagine. He is so far beyond that. When you come to the end of yourself, God can bring from out of space a completely different answer than you have ever imagined. And so as you pray for God to do things, you have to limit yourself from praying the answer that you know or that you think you know, because God is not limited to that. He works outside of space and time sometimes. So much more than we could ever know. So much more than we could ask or even think, God. It is you are God all by yourself. Come, God, you see the need. Come, God, we ask you, please. All the limits are off, oh God. We just need you to move on our behalf. We thank you, God. Come and move as only you can do. We take off all the limits. How you moved before may not be how you move this time. But God, we're asking you to move. So move, Holy Spirit, come. Only you can do. God bless you today.